Team Ripple Labs XRP versus the SEC had a big win yesterday. It sent the price up. Today we're going to talk about what that win was and why it's so important. And Ethereum moved from proof of work to proof of stake. I keep messing this up, sorry everyone. But they went from proof of work to proof of stake, which now means that Bitcoin is the big energy monster out there. It did not take long for environmentalists to attack. Let's leave this screen and go into this one. I've got the heat map up right now, and you can see the only thing that's dark green right now is XRP, just under 48 cents at 47.9 cents, up 8.7% in the last 24 hours. Let's take a quick look at the individual chart of XRP. You can see, yep, we had that peak up here just above 50 cents, had the retraction to just below 45. We are now working our way back up at 47.99 cents. But what we're here to talk about is Bitcoin first, and then we're going to get into the Ripple Labs SEC story, which is very juicy, by the way. All right, Bitcoin's climate impact is bigger than beef farming, and it's only getting worse. In fact, they even threw in there that Bitcoin mining is almost as environmentally unstable as crude oil. Whoa, where is all this stuff coming from? Well, everyone, when Ethereum went from proof of work to proof of stake, that left Bitcoin in first place as the massive energy hog. Based on its market share, the world's most notorious cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, results in more climate damage than the production of beef and is nearly much damage as crude oil. Researchers in the United States have calculated. The findings of the new three-pronged analysis suggest that Bitcoin is potentially unsustainable and could have disastrous social and environmental repercussions for the future. Essentially what they're saying is this, that the damage done by Bitcoin would far outweigh the amount of revenue and positive money that it generates, meaning it would be unsustainable in terms of an environmental impact view. From 2016 to 2021, CO2 equivalent greenhouse gas emissions for Bitcoin went from less than a ton per coin to 113 tons per coin. Bitcoin is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Over the 5-year study period, the study found that its climate damages averaged 35% of its market value. So that means for every dollar of Bitcoin, guess what? 35 cents of that is damage to the climate. Now, remember, this was a 5-year study. And don't you kind of find it interesting that the study was released just after Ethereum went from proof of work to proof of stake? I'm telling you, everyone, they timed this stuff to have a bigger impact on the market. And now what's important is now all those energy concerns that we had over Ethereum and Bitcoin, all that energy that was split between those two, all that energy now isn't focused on Ethereum. It's all going to Bitcoin. We're going to see a lot more negative pressure and a lot more heat on Bitcoin when it comes to green energy. But now onto the story that pumped XRP up a little bit. Let's get into it, everyone. Breaking for Ripple, the SEC has to turn over the Hinman documents. Is the case coming to the end, and will XRP pump to $10? Lay off the schmiggity schmack, crickety crack, my good man. We have to hit $1 first before we hit 10. But what's important about this is that, yes, in a major breakthrough with Ripple, Judge Torres overruled the SEC's attempt to withhold the Hinman speech. And yes, for everyone out there who's watching, the Hinman speech, he went out there and was like, Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're not securities. Everything else is. And there was this big speech about it, right, where he was given some legal advice, although it wasn't legal advice because he works with the SEC. It was ruled earlier this year that the speech did not fall under attorney-client privilege and that the SEC had to provide the documents of the speech. That is when the SEC said, girlfriend, we're going to object to that, and they filed a motion. And this now is Judge Torres saying, hey, you filed? Nope, sorry, you have to produce it. Now, on top of this, what we've recently learned is that the SEC, Bill Hinman himself, did not want to meet with Ripple Labs or anyone else out there. In fact, he met with Ethereum 7 times, while at the same time garnered various requests from other crypto companies out there, and he did not meet with them. We also know that Hinman has some financial ties to Ethereum because his previous employer is heavily invested in Ethereum. Conflict of interest, everyone. What's important here, though, is that the SEC has fought tooth and nail to keep the Hinman documents out because it is such a pivotal piece. If we start finding out that the SEC is picking winners and losers, not applying procedural law to the way they enforce things, that would be a massive turnaround and a massive win for the entire crypto community. And articles all over the internet are spread around with the good news. Ripple secures another win as judge orders the SEC to turn over the Hinman documents. It's everywhere, everyone, and it's good news for XRP. As we've seen, we pulled back from that high, but as soon as that news broke, boom, XRP started taking off yet again. In its speech, Hinman noted that Ethereum cryptocurrency is not a security. Ripple Labs has referred to the speech as defense as a key piece of evidence that would prove the sale of Ripple Labs XRP in 2013 were not violating securities laws. However, it still remains to be examined whether the language used by Hinman in his speech is of any use to Ripple. I'm pretty sure it's going to be used to Ripple because why else would the SEC want to block it for so long? And remember, this is now what, the second time the SEC has, or third time the SEC has been ordered to produce these documents. They've faulted out the first two times. Let's hope they do it on this third one. It is also important to note that this is not the final ruling in the case. However, the development could bring the final ruling closer, especially if the public information out there is that damning within the Hinman files. Ethereum's movement from proof of work to proof of stake had nothing to do with its throughput, nothing to do with the gas fees. It all had to do with how much energy it uses to validate its transactions. And now that that is done, the target has moved from Ethereum on over to Bitcoin, and the world wasted no time going after Bitcoin being an energy hog. Love to see it because that means it might knock down a little bit of power from Bitcoin and spread it to the rest of the crypto market. Financial power, that is. And we also have Ripple Labs XRP versus the SEC. Yep, the SEC said, hey, hand over the Hinman transcripts. We need to see what was said. We also need to know how does this apply to the case and the broader crypto market. The market reacted with a positive note yesterday as Judge Torres says, hey, SEC, stop delaying, hand it over. But would it surprise you if the SEC filed yet another motion to delay it? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think the SEC is going to play some funny business and still not release the Hinman documents? Or maybe they redacted a whole bunch of it and then we would have to go back and figure it all over again? Probably something that we're going to see here in the near future. That's why you got to hit the like button if you like this kind of content. And that's why you got to hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any breaking news in the cryptoverse that we cover on this show. Thank you very much for watching. Learn more cool Web3 crypto stuff with this video right here. Take care, have a great day, and be safe out there if you are affected by the storm. I myself am in South Carolina. We are getting the first waves of it now. Take care, everyone.